You're back. I knew it. I knew you'd be back. Oh, happy, where are we at? 12/12. Happy, well, if you happen to be watching this today live or listening, well, you're not, yeah, listening or watching live today, happy December 12th, 2018. The time is a-flying. I'm a little bit runny in my nose. I apologize for that. I was just at the gym pumping some and in doing so, I was exposed to the very cold outside. And for that, my friends, I'm a little sniffly. So I sincerely apologize for that. Quick reminder that yesterday, and I smile when I say it because of how much I think and love it. Yesterday came out AMX Kids 25 when we read After the Fall, how Humpty Dumpty got his groove back. Not really. How Humpty Dumpty got back up again. It's such a stinking fun read, fun book. Comes out every Tuesdays, AMX Kids. All right, let's hop into AMX Books 633, The Boys in the Bowl. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the Spaniard Show. This is the Spaniard, and this is AMX Books 633. The book we're currently studying is The Boys in the Boat, one of the best books I ever read. I'm going to repeat that, one of the best books I've ever read. If you'd like to get this gift for someone for the holidays, charliespaniard.com/reading list, and you'll be helping support the show as well. Let's dive into this idea. So one of my favorite things, I wrote about it yesterday, was this matrix of information, this matrix of knowledge that you start to become when you read these books. Because as you're going to hear in the first concept of today, you're going to hear me reference 3 different sources, experts, people whose books I've read. And it's all valuable. When you start to read and you learn, you ask questions, you see all these parallels across the board. So George Pocock said to Joe Rantz, remember, Pocock is trying to get inside the mind of Joe Rantz to figure out what makes this guy tick. How can we, the coaches, ensure that he does his best every time, that we get the most out of him? It's a team effort. They're trying different ways to get through to him. How do they do it? So Pocock told Joe to think of a well-rowed race as a symphony, okay? And he was just one player. So I read that, okay? So this mentor, this sage, this authority figure, this coaching figure is saying to him, hey, Joe, think of a well-rowed race. Think of your spot as just one chair, one instrument in this symphony. So I started thinking, for the listeners of AMX who have been listening since way back, do you remember that human symphony? Do you remember that idea of the human symphony, and we all have this part to play in the human symphony? That was from How Adam Smith Changed My Life, Scottish economist and philosopher. And I thought, whoa, here it is again. Here's that concept. And then I think of Jordan Peterson in his book, 12 Rules for Life, talking about not letting your kids do something that makes you dislike them, in the vein that they grow up to be interactive with other people, and they grow up with an ability to interact with other people. So this idea that we are part of a team, we are part of something bigger than us, we are interconnected to this thing that's bigger than us, by definition, I believe that's part of the definition of spirituality, is being connected to something bigger than yourself. Pocock goes on to tell Joe, what mattered more than how hard a man rowed was how well everything he did in the boat harmonized with what the other fellows were doing. Again, this nugget, this piece of insight that, hey, it doesn't just matter what you're doing. It matters how well that harmonizes with what everyone else is doing. Because if only what you're doing is benefiting you and not the team, you're not contributing to the whole. Okay, you're being the Mr. Individuality that Joe was referred to in the past. And listen to this, quote, if you don't like some fellow in the boat, Joe, you have to learn to like him. It has to matter whether he wins the race, not just whether you do. Think of that. Your school, your organization, your business, your team, whatever it is, you're in it to win it, okay? You're in it for a purpose, a mission, a common goal, a common purpose. That's togetherness, that's connectedness. So it doesn't just matter if you win the race. You have to want that others on your team win the race. And that's hard. That takes some digging deep within yourself. Because you know what? If I don't like you, why am I going to want you to win the race? But then it becomes, no, this isn't about me. This isn't about them. This is about the mission. Let's bring in another source. Extreme ownership, mission above self. So remember that team, right? TEAM. Together, everyone achieves more. Ask yourself, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, how well do I fit into the symphony that is the human symphony? And then on things coming together prior to the national championship. So coming into their junior year, I've mentioned off and on, they've had ups and downs. Joe's spot has been varsity, not varsity, forgotten about. The man, he's up and down and up and down. So all of this was starting to come together. And they felt something special. This 1936 Olympic gold medals, we feel it, right? We can hear it, we can feel it, we can sense it. From the book, quote, "There was a straightforward reason for what was happening. The boys had been winnowed down by punishing competition, and in the winnowing, a kind of common character had issued forth. They were all skilled, tough, fiercely determined, but they were also good-hearted." I love that this book talks about this lifelong pursuit of the ideal so much, because I've mentioned it over and over and over again. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm reading these books. That's why I'm fighting so hard day in and day out to learn and comprehend and improve and better myself and help others better their lives around them. This right here, but they were also good-hearted. So they were skilled and tough, fiercely determined, but they were also good-hearted. Quote, "They had all learned that nothing could be taken for granted in life, that for all their strength and good looks and youth, forces were at work in the world that were greater than they." Forces were at work greater than they. They understood their spot in the universe. They understood their vulnerability. Remember, this is coming up on World War II, and this is coming up during/post the Depression. These are tough times, and tough times make tough people, and these boys were winnowed down. It's almost like the SEALs. You know, I read a lot about SEALs. SEALs are essentially self-selected. They go through a process that at the end they're all a certain way, right? They're winnowed down. They're chipped and chipped and chipped until they are this product. Well, these boys essentially were that same way, and something else was at work in the world that were greater than they. Does that not remind you of the guided drift that we learned about in Mr. Rogers' book, The Good Neighbor? The guided drift, that we have our lives, we have our principles, we have our values. We're going down the river. We're free to move around within that river according to those values and principles. But at the end of the day, that guided drift, that current is greater than we. And it was extremely important for these boys to never forget who they are, where they came from, and how hard they had to fight to get there. And then I wanted to throw this nugget. It's a short and sweet nugget of competition. Because to me, this is it, right? This is the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight. So regarding the 1936 national championships, and mainly it was Cal and University of Washington that were going at it head-to-head. But he said in the book, quote, "Someone was about to win big. Somebody was about to lose big." Somebody was about to win big. Somebody was about to lose big. That right there is the essence of competition. That's the thrill of the fight, right? Rising up to the challenge of our rivals, not knowing where it's going to end. But that's the spirit. This book, a large theme of this book is spirit, right? The spirit. What do the ability of the coxswain to get the most out of his rowing team, the ability of these boys and women who row, to get the most out when they're ice cold and their fingers are brittle and ice is coming off their cotton sweats back in the day. It's about getting that out of you, understanding that there is no guarantee. I might win big, but I might win lose. That's why I love fighting so much. That's why I love wrestling so much. There is no mistaking it. You're either winning or you're losing. And once you can get to that point of okayness in that environment, the world's yours. The world's your squirrel, right? That equals freedom. You don't just get there by jumping in the ring with Anthony Johnson. You get there bit by bit by bit. Oh, this has been AMX Books 633. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow for AMX Books 634. Reminder, AMX Kids came out yesterday, Tuesday. Every Tuesday is a new AMX Kids. Every Monday through Friday is an AMX Books. AMX Talks, interviews come out on Thursdays. AMX Weekly on Saturdays. And if you'd like to help to support the Spaniard Show for as little as $1 a month, $1 a month, visit patreon.com/Charlie Spaniard. Links are in the show description. Read a book. Hello. Hello, Mike. Good to see you, buddy. Long time no see, my friend. Good to see you, Pritch. Who am I kidding? It's good to see all of you. It's good to see all of you. Remember, these videos uploaded to YouTube, youtube.com/Charlie Spaniard. The link there is in every show description. So when I post these links online, If you go to the description or you go to my website, you're going to find the links to YouTube, Facebook, whatever. You're going to get there and you're going to watch, you're going to listen, then you're going to take, and then you're going to go, and then it all rises up. I'll see you tomorrow.